question looming of exactly how and why Anna Nicole died. Dr. Joshua Perper, who we've spoken to here, he's the medical examiner. He says it's going to be 9 or 10 days before he's able to put all of those pieces together and determine exactly what caused her death. Phil Keating joins us from the Miami Bureau. Phil spent quite a bit of time outside that medical examiner's office. What can you tell us about when we're going to get some news on that side of the story, Phil?
Actually, I had a good discussion with Dr. Perper just yesterday afternoon, and he tells me he expects by next week, maybe Thursday, possibly Friday, those toxicology results to come in that are going to give him a conclusion as to what exactly caused the death of Anna Nicole Smith. He did the 6-hour autopsy a day after she died. That's 3 weeks ago today, by the way. And after 6 hours of the autopsy, he could not come up with a conclusion other than 3 possibilities. 1, natural cause of death. Number 2, prescription pill overdose. Or number 3, a combination of both. In the meantime, since then, there have been reports that she had lupus, maybe that was to blame, pneumonia, maybe that was to blame. He wouldn't comment on those directly, but he was aware that she had some sort of stomach-like flu during the 3 days that she was in the Fort Lauderdale area right before she died. Remember, she and Howard K. Stern came over here for the week just to buy that boat, and then they were going to be checking out on Friday. So she was apparently throwing up much of the time, vomiting everything. So she was clearly ill, had a high fever reportedly. Dr. Perper is aware of all of this. He's got blood tissue, he's got bone marrow, he has blood samples, he has tissue specimens from her organs, and of course he did the full autopsy examination. So there's going to be a lot of microscopic analysis done, as well as the toxicology test that will rule out everything that he's going to look at. He's clearly aware there were a number of bottles of prescription pills in her hotel room. He said there was absolutely nothing illegal, no illegal drugs whatsoever, and he also ruled out that it was a violent cause of death, i.e. someone killing her with by means of bloodshed.
All right, Phil, thank you very much. Phil Keating in Miami. Let's bring in the doctors, Dr. Jennifer and Robert Ashton. Number of these stretch white limousines that are carrying the people who are going to the burial service at Lakeview Memorial Gardens. And just as a reminder, this is where Anna Nicole Smith buried her son, Daniel, just several months ago. And now this entire group, a much larger group in this case, is returning to this scene for her burial, a burial that was hotly contested by her family up to the point of this morning, when Virgie Arthur actually tried to stop the funeral from taking place. We don't know exactly what her motivation was in that, but we're going to continue to follow this story for you closely. As you can see, a huge media presence on the ground there. Coming up, the father of Anna Nicole Smith's son, his name is Billy Smith, now wants Daniel's body, as we were just telling you, moved from the Bahamas back to Texas. This may have had something to do with Virgie Arthur's action this morning. So can his body legally be exhumed at this point, and how hard will he fight? This new part of the battle is just beginning, and Anna Nicole Smith's mother, as I was just telling you, her attempt to stop the former Playmate's funeral today was denied. What could her motivation have been? We're going to get into that when we come back. Also, Howard K. Stern, he let Larry Burkhead have 9 guests at Anna's very private graveside ceremony. Is this some sort of concession in the fight for Danny Lynn, this acceptance of Larry Burkhead and his involvement in this whole process? We'll ask the A-list when we come back. It's been almost 45 years since Marilyn Monroe died, but whatever happened to the coveted spot next to her that Anna Nicole Smith wanted? The cost of the cemetery plot at Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park in Los Angeles usually goes for around $20,000, but if you want the last remaining crypt next to Marilyn Monroe, it will cost you over $100,000. The Westwood Mortuary is probably the most expensive place to be buried in the country. Other stars who chose this area as their final resting place include Natalie Wood, Burt Lancaster, Dean Martin, Eve Arden, and Truman Capote. As we look at those pictures coming out of the Bahamas after the burial ceremony has ended on this sunny afternoon there. We thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon on the live desk. We will see you back here on Monday. I'm Martha McCallum. Coming up next, Fox News Live gets started with Jane Skinner.
And hello, everybody. Nothing but news.